Hello and welcome to Select 10. We are back with a new video featuring the top 10 recently released Hollywood films available on Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and HBO Max. These are currently some of the most popular and highest rated movies available on the three listed streaming sites, and this list will include movies from practically every genre, so there will be something for everyone. Also, let us know how many movies you've seen from this list so far and which one is your favorite. Now let's start the video. Number 10. The Stranger. It is a 2022 psychological crime thriller film directed by Thomas M. Wright. The story centers on Henry Teague, who has been psychologically stressed for his entire life, and Mark, his new friend, who ends up saving and supporting him. However, neither is what they seem to be, since they each have dangerous secrets that could destroy them. In fact, Mark is an undercover police officer who was given the assignment to get to know suspected murderer, Henry, in order to gain his friendship and obtain a confession from him. However, Mark's plan is compromised when their mysteries begin to unravel, putting both of their lives in danger. Although the mystery and storytelling are excellent, it can be difficult for regular viewers who are not used to a slow burn story. Aside from that, the film features outstanding performances from its stars and a unique take on a classic subject. And the movie has a 6.6 rating on IMDb and a 63% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 9. Baby Assassins. It is an action comedy film directed by Yugo Sakamoto. The film centers on Chisato and Mahiro, two high school students who are nearing graduation but also claim to be extremely capable killers. Their organization has instructed that they successfully implement in the regular community, so when they ask them to share a flat, the bond between the two soon worsens, but when they feel themselves being hunted by the Yakuza, the girls soon understand that they will need to come up with a strategy to collaborate in order to survive and make it to regular life. Even though there wasn't a lot of action, what was in the film was excellent, especially in the climax. It's hilarious and enjoyable, and considering its low budget, you can't expect much, so keep expectations low, and you'll enjoy this movie for its action and funny plot. And the movie has a 6.3 rating on IMDb and a 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 8. Barbarian. It is a 2022 horror film directed by Zach Kreger. The plot centers on Tess, a young lady traveling to Detroit for an interview session. When she gets to her accommodation late in the night, she finds that the place is already double rented with a random stranger. As a result, she is left with no choice but to stay the night, and she soon realizes that there is much more to be concerned about than just an unexpected house guest. The real terror and insanity start when Tess becomes trapped in the cellar of the house and discovers a secret staircase that leads to a soundproof chamber with a blood-soaked print on the wall. It is a scary movie that aims for emotion while still leaving you with a strong aftertaste. It elevates the horror genre by attempting to convey true fear effectively, rather than merely using jump scares. And the film has a 7.1 rating on IMDb and a 70% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 7. The Good Nurse. It is a 2022 crime drama film directed by Tobias Lindholm. The plot centers on Amy, a caring nurse and single mother who works the physically and emotionally draining evening shifts at the intensive care unit. However, she receives support when Charlie, a kind and sympathetic coworker nurse, joins her ward, and the two form a close, dedicated friendship, and for the very first time in many years, Amy has genuine faith in her future. But after a sequence of inexplicable patient deaths sparks an inquiry that names Charlie as the leading suspect, Amy is pushed to take risks with her own life in order to figure out what happened and learn the real truth. The movie tries to highlight the underlying ugliness of a profit-driven health service while delving into the even more sinister corners that fuel a serial killer's existence. It is a thoughtful crime thriller that is worth your attention. And the movie has a 6.9 rating on IMDb and a 78% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 6. Nightmare Alley. It is a 2022 neo-noir psychological thriller film directed by Guillermo del Toro. The story focuses on Stanton Carlyle, a driven artist who works for a traveling carnival where he acquires a mentalist trick from an elderly couple and becomes the manipulator con man who can read other people's minds like a mentalist. With his newly acquired knowledge of how to deceive the super wealthy of New York, Stanton attempts to cheat the deadly businessman Ezra Grindle with the help of a mysterious psychologist, Dr. Lilith Ritter, who is even more treacherous than he is. After that, the story takes a number of unexpected twists before coming to a bizarre conclusion that you won't see coming. It is a great mystery film that is masterfully made with a puzzling conclusion that will leave many of its viewers wondering. It tackles the mind games executed by fraudsters, crooks, and con artists, so don't expect a high-octane gangster movie with gunfights and car pursuits. And the movie has a 7 rating on IMDb and a 68% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 5. My Policeman. It is a 2022 romantic drama film directed by Michael Grandage. The movie is set in 2 timelines. The first is 1950, when Tom, a policeman in 1950s England, falls in love with Marion, a teacher on the Brighton seaside. The problem is that he also starts a passionate same-sex relationship with Patrick, an art director, despite it being against the law to be homosexual. However, the real issues start in the current timeline, when Patrick enters Marion and Tom's house, which starts an exploration into sensitive incidents that happened 40 years ago. It is a masterfully written tale of forbidden romance and evolving social norms that creates a visually stunning, heartbreaking portrayal of 3 individuals caught up in the changing flow of history, freedom, and redemption. The movie has a 6.6 rating on IMDb and a 96% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 4. Pearl. It is a 2022 horror slasher film directed by T. West. The story revolves around Pearl, who is imprisoned on her family's remote farm and forced to care for her dying father while being watched over harshly and oppressively by her orthodox mother. However, Pearl's lust for a beautiful life like she's seen in the movies makes her goals, desires, and oppression all clash, forcing her to commit violent crimes against her family that will transform her life forever. It is a prequel to the 2022 film X and the second part in the X movie series. It serves as the backstory for the main villain, whose passionate desire to become a movie star drove her to commit heinous crimes. In comparison to X and Pearl, Mia Goth is incredibly transformative, inspiring, despite the character's craziness. Overall, Pearl is just as brilliant as X and easily one of the best horror slasher movies of recent times, so do not miss this one, and don't forget to see X movie first. And the movie has a 7.1 rating on IMDb and an 82% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 3. Love in Kilnery. It is a 2022 romance comedy film directed by Daniel Keith. The story opens in Kilnery, a small, peaceful, distant community that worries since most of its citizens are older people and young ones will soon be leaving for college. However, when an official from the Environmental Protection Agency attends the town's monthly town council meeting and says that the state has ordered alterations to the groundwater resources, which could have the unfortunate effect of significantly raising people's sexual desires. After hearing this unexpectedly shocking news, the entire town begins to panic and the local sheriff battles to keep things peaceful until a surprising turn of events amazes the townspeople. Overall, the movie is extremely funny from beginning to end. It is a lighthearted feel-good comedy with a weird but intriguing story, strange and lovable characters, an interesting message, and lots of laughs all throughout. And the movie has an 8.9 rating on IMDb and an 89% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 2. All Quiet on the Western Front. It is a 2022 epic war drama film based on the 1929 novel of the same name. The story is set in the final years of World War I and centers on youngsters Paul Baumer, Albert, and Muller, who join willingly in the German army while feeling a rush of patriotic wave. However, their enthusiasm quickly fades away after they encounter the harsh consequences of war, which crush their initial dreams of becoming heroes. Their situation becomes increasingly difficult when Paul's beliefs about the opponent and the rights and wrongs of the war collapse, and as ceasefire approaches, he is compelled to fight until the tragic end, merely to save reputation for the high command. The film not only shows how harsh war is, but it also manages to include a few wonderful scenes, showing these soldiers at their best, in between the tears and violence. It is one of the best war movies in recent times, featuring excellent sound creation and mind-blowing cinematography. And the movie has a 7.9 rating on IMDb and a 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 1. Enola Holmes 2. It is a 2022 mystery film based on the book series The Enola Holmes Mysteries by Nancy Springer. The story picks up after the events of the previous film and follows Enola as she launches her own firm, following the path of her great brother, Sherlock. But she soon discovers that everything isn't as simple as it first appears for a female detective for hire. As she is preparing to shut down her firm after coming to terms with the harsh realities of life, a matchstick girl in need offers Enola her first job to search for her stolen sister. But as the case turns out to be even more confusing than anticipated, Enola is thrust into a frightening world, from London's nasty workshops to the top social circles, and even 221B Baker Lane itself. As the sinister conspiracy deepens, Enola must enlist the assistance of colleagues and Sherlock himself to solve her puzzle. Millie Bobby Brown does an excellent job, and fans of Sherlock Holmes will find a few things that will make them happy. Overall, it is a thrilling journey from start to finish that leaves you craving for more. And the film has a 6.9 rating on IMDb and an 82% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.